changer though. Like you wanted it. You wanted that 2+. It would have given you the momentum going through. You did time this, but now that 24 almost feels like a loss. And I'm hoping it doesn't screw with them too much as they like push through, because they still have an hour. You can still push quite well with that.
Well, and it looked like they got a Waycrest Manor there, a 24 Waycrest Manor, which is actually relatively a shorter key. So, you know, while it has its challenges, that's better than an Everbloom, which we are seeing right now with Aggressively Average, who just started not too long ago their runs for the day. I think this is probably their first or second key.
That was a clutch freedom, because we just saw one get caught by that ice. I didn't think they would get caught by that ice, but the freedom saved them from that. We did see also their mage go down just as we started watching this, though at this point they've got less than 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes. Still need trash. I don't know, Manny.
I wouldn't like less than 5 minutes going into the boss alone. I don't think less than 5 minutes with trash and the boss is a situation where I would want to be if I'm trying to push this key. But again, you do get points for completing the key, even if it is overtimed. Everbloom is one of the nastiest keys that we have had here. Of the more than 250 runs, I believe Everbloom is one of the keys that brick more groups than any other key. And it is proven to be a very dangerous key, as you were saying, with that boss in particular.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that at all. And then the penultimate boss is obviously pretty tough, but you also have to deal with the final boss, which y'all knew is no pushover either. They still don't have enemy forces, unfortunately. They're at 99%, it looks like, and I don't think there's a percent up here. So, yep, boo percent we see out of Aggressively Average there. Making their logo, though, making me want a double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
Man, I am sorry to say, or maybe I'm not so sorry to say, it has been years since I have had Taco Bell. It may, in fact, be a decade.
No way.
It may be a significant portion of my life since I've. No, wait. Pandemic time, man. It's less than 10 years, but it is like getting there. Like maybe.
We need to get you a Mexican pizza. Stat.
What, pray tell, is a Mexican pizza?
Oh, it's like a tostada. But like,
what's a tostada?
Like a labeled thing. It's delicious.
It's delicious. That's all you need to know.
Just don't worry about it and eat one.
And eat one. Okay. Tostada. I'm going to ask you to message me. I'm going to look into this. I'm on kind of a health thing. I'm trying to
it's healthy. It's got tomatoes on it.
So do some burgers. It's got tomatoes. Is not
it'll
the
be
line
fine. Don't worry about it. They are chunking through Yalnu, actually. Already 56%, by the way. Aggressively Average, but not when it comes to DPS.
Yeah, and you can see that the mage just bit it there. I was commenting that they allowed some of the ads to spawn because they did not give a care about it, so they could just focus on burning stuff down. And I'm trying to look at this comp to be like, well, what's the reason behind it? Oh my goodness, look at all of the ads there.
We also have, this is a Frost Mage, which I believe is the first Frost Mage that we've seen the entire Dungeon Dojo Invitational, so.
Yeah, Frost Mage is one of those specs we haven't seen, along with Arcane, which, sorry to actually Arcane that we didn't see that kind of representation. Affliction Warlocks have not been represented. We haven't seen, well, there was a dispute about Balance Druids, strangely enough. You have said that that's been there. You might be the only one.
There was definitely a Balance Druid, I'm telling you.
Oh man, look at this health dip.
Yeah, this is scary. I don't know if it's worth the call. I guess because yeah, their timer is looking really tight. So I guess that's probably why they're thinking that way. Y'all knew though, 147 million health left.
I like, even if this was to drop in the next 5 seconds, I don't know where you run to like get the count in that speed.
Well, so Manny, if you just jump off the cliff that you see right there, you actually end up back in Stormwind. So maybe they can get something there. And next time you try an Everbloom key, just if you jump off there, you just end up in Stormwind. So try it out.
All right. I'm gonna send you the clip. Let's see if I can like find the back route into Stormwind. Maybe do some PvP here. Oh no! 2 people died in that flurry, and that is definitely costing them the key here. They are now in overtime. I'm watching the health tick on the Warlock. It goes down. We are now just 1 Paladin, 1 Demon Hunter, and a whole lot of ads.
I mean, they're already overtime, so it's not the worst thing if, like, they were going to be overtime anyways, right? So if they wipe, hey, it allows them to go back and get that easy 1% enemy forces, right? They were already overtime, so it's not a big deal. I don't think they lose. I'm not sure specifically if the scoring, I don't keep score. I don't know how to do math. If they lose points, if it's less points the further overtime you are or what, but...
I believe Neek, who put together the scoring, has kept it very cryptic. So I'm not entirely sure what the scoring system is either. Maybe he can like look under the hood and tell us how the engine works. But we do know that you are still able to get some points with it being overtime. You're right. Now that they're running back, they should be able to pull one mob, get that percentage, and then get right back into the boss.
Yeah, going for the Berserker here, that should be more than enough. Surprised about the routing, actually. Typically don't see them just kind of run along this path. Usually see teams go up into that tree there, pull up what's in there, and then come out the other side behind where the Vengeance Demon Hunter was actually just running.
Oh, I actually don't typically see that.
Oh.
Though the Warlock is allowing them to do that skip. I don't understand. Maybe they did that skip initially too, and then they just went that way in order to pick up that last trash that they were looking for.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen that skip there. Surprise! Like that was the first time I saw that, so that's pretty cool. But the trash is usually I see them go up into the tree and do that. That's from the old days, though. Back in my day of Warlords of Draenor.
Oh, I remember trying to learn that stuff for the challenge modes and making sure all of everything worked. But like you say there, that the Vengeance Demon Hunter immediately went in to start the pull while the rest of the team was clearing off their bloodlust. I don't see them have popped it right now. I suspect that they're waiting for the ad so that they can just burn that ad down immediately. Let's see. It's coming out right now. Not seeing it. It might actually be, because in this comp, you've got a mage as your only source of bloodlust. Right. Even though you've cleared Sated, the time warp itself may be on cooldown here.
Oof. No drums either to compensate for that, or maybe they're just waiting because time warp will pop during it. Maybe it's only got 30 seconds left on it at this point.
Indeed. So they've now once again gathered up all of that those right into that slam. You can see them stunned there. They're just burning it down. But I wonder, because you're not seeing funnel. Like, yes, you've got the splitting ice from the frost mage. Yes, you have the great AoE from the paladin. I wonder why.
There's the time warp.
There we go.
We're doing it again.
We see a darkness that used a good effect to avoid some of the damage here. Everybody gets full benefit from the darkness. They've jackpotted that darkness, and they get to just absolutely pummel this boss when they should have been taking some time to recover. Again, like these guys, I'm not sure about the average, but they're aggressive.
Yeah, and they don't care about getting rid of these these sprouts at all. Like they get a few, but they're like, yeah, we'll get them down.
I mean, considering how fast they went down there, like they definitely
Right.
have a reason for it.
Yeah, might as well just let it go, especially when you have the Frost Mage who can benefit from that, right?
Man, again, here comes the add up, and I think this is great for, like, the cleave damage of the Frost Mage. I'm looking here at our Warlock, and I want to say what I saw from the Warlock was destruction.
Yeah, Destruction Warlock at the moment.
Yeah, so like that's another thing with that Havoc where the damage is going to come out anyways. I just wonder what the AoE potential is. This is definitely something where they are using their composition to full effect here.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, I love seeing it. I'm surprised at I'm not even sure. I need to look actually. So we haven't seen, there's one Demonology Warlock that we've seen, which I'm kind of surprised about because I feel like on Tyrannical, we see Demonology Warlocks pump.
I mean, like, it might be a matter of the disruption that you have with, like, constant movement that you need in Mythic Plus on top of Sanguine pushing the movement even further. Why that's an issue, because Demonology has, like, a cadence that needs to be respected. And if you screw up your window with your Tyrant, whether you're Grand Design or not, it can really affect those numbers.
Well, you know what numbers are being affected? Yalnu's health right now, Manny.
Indeed, they are well within the execute phase here. We're at the last 15 million. 5 million. This is elementary. This is done. Congratulations, they did it, but unfortunately, overtime.
Overtime, so they're going to be going. That was a 24 Everbloom, a little bit overtime. They do get score. It's just a pretty significant penalty if it's overtime. But again, I don't think that, if it's 20 minutes overtime, I don't think that they lose more points than if it was 10 minutes overtime, right? Obviously, they do if you look at it in a different way. But so we're seeing, I actually missed what key they're, let's see, what is it? AD. Looks like they got a Tall Dazar 23, which is a great key, actually, that you would want to see from this. Minus maybe Yasma, Manny?
I love this dungeon in terms of the way that we've seen different pathing in the terms of the way that, like, they've different groups have attacked it differently. I like I like all the bosses. Yasma, I think, is most scary to me because I lack a lot of defensives as an enhancement shaman. So if I get picked on by Yasma, there's very little I can do, and I'm completely reliant on the healer. But again, we are back and we are looking at these standings here. Can I get you to just go through this with the Stormwind League?
Yes.
You pronounce his name.
So I haven't seen any movement, actually, just looking at this here, but we have the Stormwind League D. Schlabler, Banished, U.S. Army Esports Hot and Salty in 4th, and the Mythic Vanguard there in 5th for the Stormwind League. Manny, you want to tackle Ogremar League?
Yeah, for sure. So in the Ogremar League, we have Dance Dance Abysmal, Valor Onyx, the Meowdies, Blue Sparkles, and Tactical Depletion. I believe that the Meowdies moved up there, if my memory serves me correct. So we might have seen a little bit of movement in there, and we might still see some movement going forward. And then back to you, how is the Dalaran League looking?
Yeah, so we have McPatty's Shank Patrol, which is just a great name. Diaper Baby in the Ubus, Betrayed, Neo Xeon, and Fates Refurbished, bringing out that 5th place spot. And at this point, Manny, we have seen every team that's competing has done dungeons at this point.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're all done. We do still have teams that are going. Like I said, we have 4 currently.
For sure. And so, like, these are still up for grabs. It is really cool to see everybody going through this. And we are doing this, of course, for the Make-A-Wish international, we did see a donation from Eliza while we are on break. So I do want to take this opportunity to thank you, Eliza, and thank everybody who is being so generous with your funds. Every little bit helps, and with your help, we have been able to accrue $5,256.66 towards this really noble goal. Thank you so much.
That has jumped up so much from yesterday, by the way. So thank you. Unbelievable to see where that was when we started the pre-show on Friday to where it is now on Sunday. Unbelievable. This is just one of the many reasons why the community support here is instrumental in everything the Dungeon Dojo does.
Yeah. And jumping back into the action, this is aggressively average in their Atal Dazarki. I saw right there that they didn't even bother to run away. They just popped the bubble from the paladin in order to keep him in place. I kind of question it because they're already halfway through this boss, and I kind of like having those sort of defensive utilities available for the oh crap moment. So it was late enough in the boss that I might have considered saving it, but also early enough that you again get another pursuit, and if something went wrong, you no longer have that like instant out.
Well, I mean, I think this is probably a similar situation if they really want that +2, right? To get back up to a 25 as soon as possible. So maybe they're just like, hey, this is a time thing. We can make sure that we have and the healer was targeted, so maybe that's also a thing, is let's bop our healer to make sure that that's not an issue, but not like any damage is really coming out when pursuit is happening. So maybe yeah, I don't know, actually.
Yeah. And like honestly, one of the things that people don't understand is that the Razan is constantly adding damage to your tank. And while it is doing the pursuit, while it is moving back into position, that's allowing that bleed that gets stacked up to come off. So if you completely remove, like let's say you had a hunter that feigned death and just remove that mechanic, you are actually punishing your tank a little bit more than you might consider. And people need to be careful about that.
Oh, this is an old school pull.
Oh man, yeah, they pulled from this side. I usually see people pulling the bridge. This is a very dangerous pull because of the mix of casters and the leap there. When they get empowered and you just have fire going everywhere, it is a tremendous amount of damage. But I do see, look at all of those silences going out there just to make sure that they burn this down now and interrupt. This is how you have to handle this pack, because if those casts go out, if they start empowering, if the fire just goes everywhere, this could like literally turn bad, literally turn so ugly so quickly.
Yeah, but they were able to burn this down so fast that it never had a chance of happening. They were able to take that out, and they're still going on this side, and I am actually shocked to see that. This is something that you would have seen back in BFA, depending on the week that was happening. I don't think I've seen this type of pull. Maybe you have during the Dungeon Dojo Invitational, but I don't think I've seen this side get pulled at all like this season when I'm casually doing keys.
Yeah. Well, there we see a little bit of fire coming out because they've used their AoE stops. They're trying to do what they can to just silence it. We saw off to the right there using what I believe was a pacify or mind soothe, just so that they could deal with one pack before going to the next. There's some CC because they just are skipping past this right now.
Yeah, but this pack here can also be just incredibly dangerous, and that Colossus has so much health.
Yes, and like luckily this is not a bolstering week, but that Colossus can do some stand casting, which means that if you drop the Sanguine at the wrong time, you might just virtually reset that health and keep yourself here a lot longer than you would like to be. So they're doing well. I could see the Colossus off to the side while they're killing things in the background. Once again, just making sure that when it does this laser beam, so punishing, that it's not standing in Sanguine. Good job by this team.
Did see the mage go down there, but that's what happens with these packs. chat saying that they do this side, they see this side pulled all the time, and yeah, that's, I wonder if it's like a regional thing maybe or something. I just never see this side pulled.
I don't know if regional strats are a thing anymore in this day of everybody following the same like pathing that gets shared.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone just looks at Raider.io, one of our Dungeon Dojo brought to you buys here.
Yeah, it's great that we have the support of Raider.io. They give so much great information. They are a pillar of the community, not just like the MDI and the official events, but grassroots leagues like we are putting on right here this weekend. But as much as Chad is saying they see this all the time, I gotta say that I do not. I have seen it before. I will say that I have seen it before, including this season. But it is not the more popular one in my circles here.
Yeah, most of the type that I've seen in BFA, it was wildly popular, but I still wouldn't see it pulled all the way. Usually, would just do that first. You grab that first little pack there, and then go over to the right hand side, but not here.
Here we go. They are pulling all of this right into the boss. This is a group that is loving the AoE, loving being able to cleave stuff down. There is the ad. I'm not seeing any CC to slow down. Okay, there it goes. It gets gripped in. They're burning it down with the rest of the trash and the boss on top there. We're now seeing them to get the blood. Last second is when they're trying to get the blood, because there's the cast. I still see puddles around. Oh, this must be regular sanguine piles.
Yeah,
it is a very scary thing, because you do not want to have the boss standing in the sanguine when it starts also doing the corrupted blood drain. That would be an absolute nightmare to see it get that health, because this is one of the bosses that really does hurt itself when it's doing that siphon.
Yeah, I mean, you still want to do as much damage as you can, but Alunza here will kind of just defeat herself given enough time with this transfusion.
One person is actually feeding health back to the boss, or it looks like two actually were feeding health back to the boss.
And at this level of, a 23 Atal Dazar, really the worry is those gold balls. If you get touched by those and that dot is put on you and it's not taken off in time, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But
it is incredibly painful if you get that on you. But I also feel like they are so slow moving that it like you got to be tunneling to get caught by that.
Yeah. Which, most of the teams that I run with, I end up being the one that tunnels and gets hit by it. I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that there.
Unfortunate indeed. But these guys are relatively healthy. We see the Gilded Claws go out. That is a bit of damage that really does hurt. But with a mage, you could just spell steal that. It doesn't really do a lot for the mage themselves. An offensive dispel from the Vengeance Demon Hunter is also a good way to counter that ability. And then the boss just goes down, and they are immediately taking the stairs down back into the center and going across to Vokal.
How do you feel about Vokal?
I think he's a pretty tame boss. If he's ever trouble, it's because your team isn't coordinated, or you are just hitting a wall with keys where that tick damage is just overwhelming your healer. Right? Yes, there's the cast, but tanks should be able to interrupt that by themselves, and anybody else who has an additional interrupt is just icing on top of it.
I just, that in a pug group, I feel like those totems are either they go down no problem, or you reset them 5 times.
Oh, that would be tragic. That is a matter of not only somebody being slower on DPS or maybe taking more time to ramp up, but also whoever's ahead not being able to throttle themselves, being like, I gotta get it for my parse.
Yep. Look at my meters. Pulling 3 Sky Screamers, they totally can. When you have a Vengeance Demon Hunter, you can throw down sigils and left and right and have no problem with that. Even prop paladins, stuff like that, no problem. They do have plenty of kicks. Mage kick is great.
Yeah, I think that they've got a pretty good team for it. I don't know how well they can be stunned by the Warlock, but Warlock does have a group stop as well. Looks like they are pulling the middle. I hate this pack. It has become what people like to pull, but I just personally hate this pack. The Dinomancer is the priority here. It is deceptive. When you see all of these things out there and you're like, oh, you're the issue, you're the problem, it's you. Frenzied Charge coming out there, easily avoided. The Dinomancer is being burned down. Deadeye aim, watch this damage come out. No, they did pretty good.
I feel like this pack now is one that you pulled regardless of if it's fortified or tyrannical, but also back in the day it felt like one where if it was fortified you'd skip it. You wouldn't do that pack that week, but now it's kind of, they've changed the way that pack works a bit as well, so you kind of just see, and it gives great percent for what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just because the swords don't trigger on death effects. If they did, this would still be a nightmare pack.
Yeah.
Right, and the swords themselves aren't as bad as they used to be. Like, those leaps used to be something that could eliminate players out of nowhere, and they've done a good job bringing them down to a more manageable level now.
See, it's so weird for me to see coming in this way, going up these stairs. It's like, whoa, weird.
You know, it's the same pull, different order.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're still dealing with the same stuff for the most part. I guess you skip a lot of those zombie guys, but you'll eventually get them here, as well as those stalkers that can come in and ruin your day. Have you ever had that happen to you, Manny?
I feel like the stalkers aren't the problem as much as it is the guards that keep putting up that shield. That can slow you down a lot. And if you are not good with the stops or the silences, it's a bunch of issues there. Again, great use of a stop there just to like negate that shield. They're gonna have to pull it. Oh, I thought they were gonna have to pull it out, but there's again another good stop. This is a group that seems to be well calibrated for this dungeon here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like they have so many ways of dealing with whole packs. They can just bounce between who's doing what and keep those mobs under control the entire time.
Looks like they're gonna skip here. Yep.
See, I always get worried about that too, because the amount of times I've had people pull through the gate when you're fighting Vocal.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I haven't had the Vocal issue. I have had people like, you know, right when they start to work on the totems, they've had it, but once the gate's up, I think you're relatively safe.
Watch, we're gonna caster curse them, and those mobs are gonna come in here while they're trying to deal with these.
They're gonna start in the corner that he keeps pulling it to, and then they're gonna start going clockwise, and they'll be fine. And that way they avoid that kind of insanity where, like, as soon as he dies, that's when the gate comes down, and you're like, uh-oh.
We're standing right there.
Yeah. But these guys are doing really well at this point to like keep these totems pretty much in line. They're about to like all go down now. And I would also say that the health, I'm glad I didn't complete that sentence.
It is worth mentioning that we do have 3 teams left currently competing.
I was wrong about the totems.
Oh, see, this is what I mean. I told you.
It was literally just one totem that stayed up just a little bit longer than it needed to, and the other 2 came back. But they're, again, now relatively close.
Manny, what happens if they miss it a second time?
Then we blame the Missile-Dying Curse, and we move on with our lives. Oh no! I do see one at 20, while the other ones are in single digits. They are now pumping towards it. It's down. Second one's down. Third one's down. All right, phase 2. Let's do this.
Woo. I just think that whole section I think doing that is so stressful. Uh, I'm sure many practice teams are like, that is literally nothing. You just send so and so on there, and like you just do it and it's done. But for me, I get so stressed out doing those totems.
I am lucky that there is so much on-demand bursts and so much frequent on-demand bursts from enhancement shamans right now. Basically, a 27-second cycle on when we go nuts, and the fact that like I can like cover all 4 targets at once when I do like particular hits off the P wave. So it's good for me. I just wish that that enhancement shaman had a bit more defensiveness, a bit more effective health, so that we could be part of the meta. It's just we're just shy of it right now.
This part of the fight, though, I love. Like, I think this part is really fun. It's fun kiting this like big beast around as he throws this gross toxic goo everywhere. You were mentioning, though, Manny, the noxious stench there. On a key of this high, if that's not interrupted, how much damage is 2 stacks of that actually going to be able to put out?
It gets pretty brutal, but like I said, like typically, our group here should be able to handle it. And I want to also say that this group is being very smart about their stops and their CC, as well as being very smart about staying away from that gate that we were saying, if they show up on the wrong side. You can see that the tank just pulled it immediately all the way to the other side for that last bit of health, so that when this dies, they are all by that gate that they've already set up to go flying.
Yep, they're already ready. We see, trying to see the timer there. It looks like they have 12 minutes left, 12 and a half minutes left on the timer, going into Yasma, who we've seen actually be a problem for teams during the Dungeon Dojo Invitational and just in general with the way Racking Pain works, something that you used to be able to interrupt. That was actually the key of that. Now, not so much.
Yeah, but man, this team, again, it just seems like it's so good for this dungeon. The mage gets targeted, I'm gonna ice block. The paladin gets targeted, I'm gonna bubble. Hell, if the paladin doesn't get targeted and decides to use that bubble and use their mount to go clear out all the spiders, they're sitting pretty good. I think the only person that I'm deeply worried about is the priest, who could possibly just fade dodge one of them.
I also do want to point out that this team is our most stylistic team so far. They are all transformed into beautiful Murlocs.
I do love that Murloc with these with the wonderful little polka dot dress. Yep. That is beauty. That is right out of the stage of Karazhan, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is that what that's from?
I think that's where that one is from. One of the stage battles. Yeah, Romeo and Juliet made by with the Murgle, whatever it was called. Murgalette, who knows? But they are
Yasma already at 60% health. They're chomping through this. Aggressively average seems to be aggressively maybe above average.
Yeah, like you see that good use of darkness. Oh no, caught by a spider.
I take it back.
The Mistledine curse is in full effect.
Take it back.
Oh, that res right into another spider.
Oh no! Oh.
I saw it, and I couldn't say it fast enough. I'm like, there's another res. They're back up, but they've now used 2 battle reses. This is now a very scary key. They do not have the room for error anymore.
Oh, and you know that once that happens, you're gonna be playing a little bit differently than you just were. You know,
open up on our warlock, and the warlock goes down. There is nothing for that warlock anymore. They do take care of the ads. They're trying to lure these spiders, but oh no, the Mistledine curse is on full effect. Just silently be like, I don't know where this came from.
I can't say anything now, or else I'm going to ruin their time here in this key. They're still good. They still have 9 minutes. Even if they were to hit a full team wipe at this point, they do have enough time to come back in and show Yasma what is the right lever to pull.
There is the pulling them in. There is the Frost Mage just doing great AoE there. The Ret Paladin, of course, killing it now. I wish our Warlock was still going, but see the Discipline Priest here just bring it. Oh no!
Oh.
The Discipline Priest catches a spider under Yasma's leg, and again, because they do not have the battle res, I don't know where they go from here. 16%, 15%?
They got this. 15%. They can do it.
I'm watching this Warlock just go right back down again. Oh!
Tank alone can get that 13%, I think. It'll take a while, but they got 8 minutes to be able to do that, Manny.
Okay. I just worry that, like, oh, geez, there's the mage.
Mage down. All right, so the pressure's on now. Retribution Paladin needs to bring it. Some Templar's verdicts to the faces. Less than 7 million health remains.
It is about the Ret being able to protect themselves from that racking pain. It goes out.
4%.
See the bubbles, because they just do not want that tick to be the issue. Oh no! Immediately removed from the next damage.
That's okay. You know what? I've been able to solo this boss from 40% or so.
Okay.
On a protection paladin though, so a little different.
I will be positive. I will say that they will take the victory. They will not snatch defeat out of the maw of victory. But now we are seeing this this tank who has to constantly be moving and avoiding all of the spiders and that image, because when that image hits, that's a big spike of damage. Oh my goodness, she's standing and delivering.
Fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. See, look at that. Almost nothing done to the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Even potentially getting hit by a spider. Yasma goes down, Manny.
You called it. Oh man, that is still a +2 for this team. Very aggressive and amazing play from Aggressively Average.
Yeah, that wasn't. I wouldn't call that average at all. That was actually fairly rude of you to call them average, Manny.
And I did see a 25 key, but I didn't see what it was.
Oh, is Manny, it's Everbloom.
It's Everbloom.
It's Everbloom.
Diving back into the wilds of Everbloom.
Oh, that's got to feel bad. That's got to feel bad to see, you know? You just overtimed a 24 Everbloom. You're like, all right, let's +2 this so that we can get back. And then they +2 into an Everbloom.
But this can be redemption. This can be the redemptive story right here, right now. They come back, Aggressively Average, redeems themselves in Everbloom, where they last saw their defeat after an amazing play in the Tal Dazar. I think this could be good.
Yeah, so, I mean, they hopefully learned a lot in that 24 Everbloom. They're able to carry it forward now. Maybe they were like, oh, hey, let's do this instead. We'll see.
Yeah.